love cruises. I'll go on as many cruises as I possibly can, but there are definitely some things that I think are straight up gross on a cruise ship. Hey everyone, it's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. I think we all have our hang-ups, like maybe the sound of your hands on styrofoam, or somebody saying the word moist, or a variety of other things that just we have our own pet peeves of things that we just think like, ugh. Well, today I've got my list of ugh on a cruise ship, keeping in mind, by the way, my disclaimer, which is these things bother me. Some of them may not bother you. That's okay. I just wanted to share my opinions because some of these things I think are truly gross and others are clearly just a Matt thing. And I'm going to start with a Matt thing off the bat. My number one thing that my staff all know and I absolutely hate is touching any animals on a cruise ship or on shore excursions. Birds, fish, mammals. All right, dogs I'll touch, but I'm talking about aquatic mammals. I don't want to touch them at all on a cruise ship. People love going on excursions and like going to see sloths or swimming with dolphins or having birds land on them in public piazzas. I never, ever want that to happen to me. I think it's absolutely gross and so like it makes my skin crawl. That's the level of grossness that's there. So I purposefully will avoid all of it. Now, one time my family wanted to go meet sloths and I thought, okay, this won't be so bad, Matt. You can deal with this. It's a sloth. It's not that bad. It doesn't like lay in its own weight. It's not swimming with the pigs, which by the way, also extremely gross if you realize that while you're with the pigs in the water and you feed them, they tend to do their business immediately. But I digress. Had the sloths. They were cute, I admit, but it just felt, it made my skin crawl. I really didn't enjoy it at all. And now it's a meme within our Slack group here at Royal Caribbean Blog. If you enjoy meeting and touching animals, more power to you. I just will never, ever, ever hold, touch, or pet any animal that's not a dog or a cat. It's just too weird to me. No thank you. Number 2, and this is a hill I'll die on, napkin twirling. Okay, napkin twirling seems like an innocent thing to do. When you're in the main dining room, on certain nights of the cruise, the staff will suddenly erupt into celebration. There's music, there's a parade. It seems like a great opportunity to celebrate being on vacation. The problem with napkin twirling is that this is the same napkin that everybody wiped their mouth with, sneezed in, and wiped their nose with just a few minutes ago. I think it's absolutely gross. I couldn't believe they actually allowed this after COVID to be a thing, but it's like one of the cringiest things that I just can't get past. And it's interesting because this really bothers me, but hot tubs don't. I know some people are going to post in the comments that they really can't stand like pools or hot tubs. But at least in pools and hot tubs, there's this thing called chlorine, which is supposed to disinfect all of that. Your napkins don't have that. And you're twirling around and it's going everywhere. In fact, on a recent cruise on Enchantment of the Seas, when they did this, I told my tailmates, I am sorry, I am leaving. I will not be present for this event. I know this makes me seem like a snob or whatever, but I'm being real with all of you. This is straight up gross. Something else on a cruise ship that I think is absolutely gross are the cloth shower curtains. I did actually a short on this on YouTube here and Instagram talking about how that on older Royal Caribbean cruise ships like the Vision class and the Radiance class and maybe a couple others, they, instead of having plastic or glass shower doors, they have a shower curtain. And a curtain is fine when you're at home, but the curtain, unfortunately, clings to you. There's something about when the water gets going, like the wind that creates, there's like a suction effect. And basically, once it gets wet, it just sticks to you and you really can't get away from it. And when you start thinking about the fact that it's clung to other people before you, and likely hundreds of other people before you, I'm sorry, that's another mental image I just can't get out of my head. Now, to be fair, a lot of people did comment on that short video I did here on YouTube that there are some good hacks for it. One is to bring magnets with you. Now, we've talked about the useful nature of magnets on a cruise ship. Basically, you take the magnets and attach the curtain to the wall, because the walls are made out of metal and you can attach a magnet there, and hold the curtains back. That can work well. And actually, I'd like to try this out the next time I'm on an older cruise ship. The other thing people said was to just leave the shower curtain completely open and let the shower flood, or the bathroom flood, really. And the reason is there's a drain in the middle of the bathroom. And I get where they're coming from with this tip. Personally, I don't want my shower or bathroom flooded with water. I mean, I get that it'll drain. It won't be a major problem, but I just don't want to, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a solution, just a less worse problem. The good news is if you go on a newer Royal Caribbean cruise ship, you don't worry about this. It's really just the older ships out there. But I've got something on a newer ship that made me also second guess a lot of decisions in my life. And that was on Utopia of the Seas. They have a lot of new parties, one of which is the college party, which I thought this was a great idea. I loved college parties. And one of them is beer pong. And once again, when I was in college, I loved beer pong. It's my favorite events. If you've ever played it, something called Beirut or some other games out there. Basically, there's a series of cups on both ends of the tables. You throw ping pong balls and try to sink it into one of the cups, and the other team has to drink the drink. And the idea is, of course, the more you drink, the more you enjoy your life, I suppose. And it's just a drinking game. Anyway, the thing is, in college, maybe this is the advantage of being young, you never really thought twice about the fact that when the ball missed the cup or bounced off the table, it would land on the floor. Now, I know there's always be that one cup of water they dunk the ping pong ball back into to rinse it out, and suddenly it's clean. Well, that same thought process is here on Royal Caribbean. But when I played beer pong on Utopia of the Seas with our YouTube editor, Jenna, and the ball hit the ground, and I thought, the ball just hit the ground on a cruise ship. This is really not something I want to now be able to potentially drink a little bit when that ball hits my drink later on. And I was totally grossed out by the whole thing. Again, maybe it's because I'm getting older and now I'm thinking about things in a different way, but this was a bridge too far for me as well. Number 5 is not washing your hands when going to a restaurant. And this is something that I think we can all agree is gross. So if you go to the Windjammer or even the main dining room, anywhere that has either hand sanitizer in front of you or a hand washing station like the Windjammer has on newer Royal Caribbean cruise ships, you would be amazed how many people walk by it as if they're made out of the same material as John Cena. They just can't see it. It's just incredible to me how many people just flagrantly walk by. Not like, let me go run my hands under the water for a half a second or, sort of like phantom wave my hand in front of the hand sanitizer. These people walk by it like there was nothing ever there. And washing your hands before you go into a venue you're about to then use your hands to feed yourself with is actually a really big health issue because it's how you can spread things like norovirus and other gastrointestinal illnesses. The smart thing to do is to wash your hands before you are about to eat. Also, and equally important, you should also wash your hands when leaving the bathroom. Again, you would say to yourself, who would do that? If you stand outside the Windjammer, if you stand outside a bathroom, you're going to see plenty of people who don't do it. In fact, at least at a restaurant, I feel like the majority do wash their hands. In the bathroom, I'm not even sure it's a majority. But again, this is about health and your own health. This is about somebody else's health, but it's about protecting yourself. Wash your hands before you eat your food and wash your hands before you leave the bathroom. And when you're leaving the bathroom, by the way, one other tip is if you have a cruise ship that doesn't have automated doors, you can wave your hand in front of a sensor, grab a paper towel, open the door with the towel, and then throw away that towel as the door opens. Because obviously if you just wash your hands and then touch the common object like the door handle, especially one in a bathroom, not the best idea. And finally, I asked my staff for a suggestion for this video, and they came up with the buffet tongs. And this one doesn't bother me. At least I never thought about it. Maybe they now ruined it for me as well. But one thing that our YouTube editor Jenna does is when she's in the buffet at the Windjammer, and she obviously uses the tongs to, of course, serve herself food, afterwards she feels a little grossed out by having to have touched those same tongs, so she brings her own hand sanitizer with her. Personally, that doesn't bother me as much, but that's a me thing, and I'm willing to risk it, and Jenna's probably a little healthier than I am. But the thing that I think we all agree with also are people that bypass the buffet tongs altogether. Again, if you don't believe me, stand by the buffet for a couple minutes. You'll see someone do this where they use their hands to grab a piece of food, whether it's a piece of bread or an apple or something else. You are supposed to use the tongs because your hand can inadvertently touch something else and just more easily spread germs in that manner. I know this video kind of sounds like I'm a germaphobe. I'm really not, and I think we all have our own personal hangups, and this is my list of personal hangups on a cruise. Now, some of these I'm not sure we can necessarily change. Others are things that I think absolutely should be happening when they're not, like the not washing your hands when going to a restaurant or the bathroom. But whether or not anybody else ever holds another bird or pets a fish or anything like that, that's for a different day. I'm not sure. But at least hopefully this will give you some insight into how I look at things, even though I go on many, many, many cruises. Let me know in the comments below. What are things that people love on a cruise that you think are totally gross? Let me know in the comments below. While you're down below our video, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications. That way YouTube lets them have a brand new video to share. This has been Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, and we'll talk again real soon.